Kevin, shoo. It ain't 3:00. All right? This is my chair. Christian Gokel, glad to have you alongside on this Monday. We start today in the natural place after, some things happened this weekend, right? Streakers.
Yes. Dude was juking people. Someone give him a contract. I know the Lions are needing the running back. Go and get Lions.
The Lions, the guy got closer to the end zone than any Kansas City Chief.
Dude, why you gotta do that? Why you gotta do that?
I mean, my man split a tackle, like split the gap like Herschel. And the mistake he did make is you got to know in the NFL, shoo.
Look at him. Look at us through the hamster cage, dude.
He's so sad of doing the old person show 3 and out that he's just hanging around the young kids here doing second down, talking about the Super Bowl. But no, my man, the streaker, who got arrested and spent the night in jail and probably still in there unless he's gotten bailed out by now, he slid down at the 1, which, I mean, if you're going to go that far, right, break a 50-yard run down the middle, break a couple of tackles, you got to dive into the end zone, right? You got to hit pay dirt. Also, that security guard had been living for that moment like his entire life because that was targeting. I was waiting for the flag to come out and then to bring that one back, first down, automatic first down, give another shot at the end zone. But, I mean, you saw some butt cheeks last night.
I was going to say, am I up?
Yeah,
PJ, okay. I just want to make sure I was
in the studio with us.
I appreciate that. I wasn't sure. I just kept looking over and I couldn't see. But no, he said he split the defense there. You saw what he was wearing. That's not the only thing he split.
You can't do the to yourself.
Oh, come on now.
Oh, yeah. No, that was there it is. I think Cody put it up on the screen.
Beautiful.
We might have to put a censor warning on there because, again, just
Nah, he didn't go all cheeks yet. This is pre-cheeks.
So this would be allowed. this would be allowed on Instagram, is what you're saying.
Yes,
it's just butt cheeks.
Yes,
got it. But again, no. The most exciting part of the Super Bowl, a man streaking down the field. Beyond that, just utter domination by Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You know what? That's not fair. I'll say utter domination by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, featuring a good performance by Tom Brady. I know he won the Super Bowl MVP, I guess. I think there's a few other guys on that Tampa Bay team that you could have chosen to hand the MVP, namely Devin White. I think he pretty clearly was the Super Bowl MVP. But, guys, I want to dive into this one because it was a weird Super Bowl because it kind of went against the grain of everything everyone thought, right? It was either going to be Kansas City by double digits or it was going to be a close game late where Tampa Bay, Tom Brady has the magic. This is the first game or first Super Bowl ever, right? That Tom Brady, where it's been more than a 1-score game.
Yeah, this is the first Super Bowl, yep.
Yeah, I mean, I think the largest margin before was 8 points against the Eagles when the Patriots lost to the Eagles. So for the most part, or not for the most part, it had always been at least 1-score games in the Super Bowl. Tampa Bay just physically dominated Kansas City on both sides of the ball. Tom Brady had a good performance. Gronkowski had an amazing performance. That was awesome to see. That was a throwback. Like that was awesome to see from Gronk, but just physically whooped on both sides of the line of scrimmage. Number one, rough performance from the KC offensive line. You know what it looked like? And this might skew a little bit more towards our lower in age listeners. It looked like when you're playing Madden and you have a creative quarterback and you get your butt whooped in a game because every single time you're taking the snap from the shotgun, you're trying to extend plays and you're getting sacked, right? Like that's what it seemed like. It was just Madden creative player. I'm going to try to make as many plays as I can. There really didn't seem to be an offensive philosophy. They actually ran the ball. KC did pretty well. I mean, 6 yards a carry, over 100 yards, but there was nothing consistent about it. And then the pass rush, I mean, they only sent 5 on 9% of the plays and never sent more than 5.
Yeah.
And so that's the story of the game, right? They were able to get consistent pressure with 4 guys against Patrick Mahomes, who had been, I don't think he was the same Patrick Mahomes from last year, but he had still been fantastic. Just an unbelievable performance, PJ, by that Tampa Bay defense.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I love the tenacity and the toughness that you saw from Tampa Bay last night on both sides of the ball. And like you said, being able to rush for and get after the quarterback was fantastic.
Triple T.
Yeah,
tenacity, toughest Tampa Bay.
That's it.
Dude, get out of here.
No, but I thought that was fantastic from the Buccaneers, and I love that you brought that up too about the running game, because if you think back to last year and even this year for the most part, Andy Reid and that offensive philosophy with Patrick Mahomes has been fantastic and well calculated, I think, with the opponents that they faced, and it just everything looked so discombobulated, and I'm happy that I wasn't the only one to see that. It just looked like there wasn't a solid plan on how to attack that defense when the pressure was up and when they were able to slow down Tyreek Hill. And it was just so surprising because I believe I heard a few nights ago on ESPN radio that when they started the year, everything was actually very balanced when you talk about taking shots downfield and being effective in the passing game, but also having Clyde Edwards-Helaire go for over 100 yards in his first 2 starts with the Kansas City Chiefs. Think about the last year's Super Bowl. Damian Williams was going off and being really consistent running the football and even catching the ball out of the backfield. And last night you saw almost none of that. Early in the game, if there was a successful run play, if there was a run play called at all, it was Pat Mahomes getting out, and I guess it wasn't a run play, but scrambling and getting the yards
he
that he could.
He almost ran like total for 500 yards.
A run for his life play.
Yeah,
exactly.
Just in terms of scrambling, he ran over or close to 500 yards.
Right, and that was every play, and like you said, throughout the whole game. And you'll look at the stats from last night, and Clyde Edwards-Helaire, 9 carries for 64 yards. That's 7.1 yards per carry. And that running the football like that, it was just so sparse. It was, maybe 2 runs a quarter, if that. And when it's working so effectively and when you have so much pressure on your quarterback, they were within a shouting distance pretty much the whole game. I know it was 14-3, 21-6 at halftime, but you can use the running game to try and get back in there, and you never saw him go to that. It was just Mahomes running for his life, either having a sporadic throw and incompletion that was far off, or it was hitting someone in the hands and they were dropping it. So that inconsistency, it was so odd to see from such great offensive minds for Kansas City that we've seen coming up with great game plans over the past year and a half, 2 years.
What felt like they panicked to me was they didn't really feel like they could stop Tampa Bay's offense. And it wasn't that Tampa Bay was up and down the field scoring quick. It was just a slow stranglehold kind of quicksand where it's when the ball went back over to Tom Brady and the Bucs, it was 4 minutes, 5 minutes. I mean, that last drive where they really killed the clock, they were at midfield and it was a 4.5 minute drive, right? It just kind of felt like, this is what we talked about on Friday. You just, with Tom Brady at the helm, you can kind of choke the life out of another team. And that's what they ended up doing. But it felt like they panicked when Tampa Bay scored that last touchdown before halftime, when they went right down the field in a minute and scored a touchdown. Now, there were some penalties on them, and then you saw a lot of the players, especially Breeland and Matthew, kind of lose composure on the sideline, which, number one, if I'm Tyrann Mathieu, I'm freaking out at my defensive coordinator too. You put me one-on-one on the goal line with Antonio Brown. Excuse me?
Yeah, not a smart.
I don't know that there's one player in the NFL that you feel comfortable putting where Antonio Brown needs to beat you for 1 yard. Say what you will about him as a diva. Say what you will about him with his play declining. I put Antonio Brown at like a 99% success rate where I need you to get open for 1 yard. And he cooked Tyrann Mathieu, and you gave him zero help inside. Mm-hmm. Like, if I'm Tyrann Mathieu, I'm freaking out too on the sideline. And you're also asking me to cover Rob Gronkowski down the middle and Cam Brate down the middle, and then you flex me out, and I have to play against Antonio Brown. Again, you put me one-on-one on the goal line. I know I sound like Allen Iverson here, but you put me one-on-one on the goal line with Antonio Brown.
Yeah.
He's always going to win that. I remember, what was the tight end's name for the Broncos when they won the Super Bowl? Julian Thomas?
Yep, Julius Thomas.
Julius Thomas.
Yeah, if you got traded to the Jaguars.
Yeah, but Julius Thomas, right? I remember they split him out wide, and the Broncos were in the shotgun on the goal line. They split him out wide, and they put a linebacker out there, and he just ran a slant route. Peyton Manning hit him on it, and he just sort of turned and looked at the other sideline like, what are y'all doing? That's kind of what I felt like watching that play is you have timeouts, they're on the goal line, and you have your safety lined up on one of the best receivers in NFL history.
Yeah. 3 years ago, we're talking about Antonio Brown.
Like 1-2 with Julio.
Yeah, exactly. Being the best wide receiver in the NFL. His play really hasn't declined that much. And the only problems that he's had have all been off the field, with like social issues.
Sure.
It hasn't been he's bad at football. So yeah, I completely couldn't agree with you more.
So it felt like after that, it was 21-6, and you were going into halftime, and you got the ball back. So it's like, okay, we're down 2 scores over the Kansas City Chiefs going into halftime, but it didn't feel like that.
Mm-hmm.
It felt like the game was getting away from them, right? And they do come out and they get a field goal, but again, it wasn't that the Buccaneers were up and down the field. It was that once you kicked off to them, you weren't getting the ball back for half the quarter.
Yeah, because playoff Lenny, Super Bowl Lenny was rushing for like 8 yards a team.
I thought he was good. I don't know that
he was doing his part. He wasn't like.
Well, that was the whole point. Is they didn't do anything crazy in the game.
Yeah.
They ran an offense that NFL teams have been running for 20 years.
Yeah.
Right. They ran split zone, and then they were going in and play action and hitting the tight ends out of the backfield, hitting the running backs out of the backfield.
RPO, man, that sucked up the linebackers and fooled them.
I don't know that Tampa Bay ran one RPO last night.
Oh, whenever they
just straight up shot. They were straight up play action. They
really?
I don't think they ran one actual RPO last night, because an RPO means that the quarterback's actually reading a linebacker, and if the linebacker bites, he's going to pull it out of his running back's stomach and then throw it to the guy. They were just running straight up. Again,
old school.
NFL's been doing it for 20, 30 years, play action. And Tom Brady, I think, was 10 of 13 for over 130 yards. And all 3 of his touchdowns came on play action.
Yeah.
And it wasn't fancy. And Romo said it again and again. He's like, this is simple. He's like, we're gonna run the ball. It's not going to be overly complicated with our offensive line. Just go forward. You guys are all bigger than the guys that they have up front, except maybe Chris Jones, but he didn't really have an impact. We're going to run split zone, and then we're going to hit a play action. And the tight end who's been running across and cracking back on the tackle is what you saw on Gronk's first touchdown. Is 7-8 times in a row, Gronk had come back across the offensive line to block that tackle, and then finally he just releases Tom Brady play action, whips it out to him. Nobody's there, touchdown. Yeah. It's stupid, simple offense, and it worked. And meanwhile, you had Casey on the other side trying to do all the creative stuff that usually works. But again, talk about simple. What did Tampa Bay do on defense? They rushed 9% of the time. The other 91% of the time, they were sending 4, and they played a cover 2 shell the entire night.
Yeah,
you just weren't going to beat them deep. And so there was no adjustments made by Kansas City to that. And you saw it. They had their defensive ends out wide. And so so KC was able to run the ball successfully, and they didn't stick with that and make Tampa Bay adjust. And that was a hell of a job by Todd Bowles, because if they don't adjust, why should you? I'm just going to let my former NFL sack leader and Shaq Barrett keep rushing the passer. I'm going to let Jason Pierre-Paul, who's been one of the elite pass runners in the NFL for a long time, do it. Oh, and by the way, on the inside, I have Golston and Ndamukong Suh and Vita Vea.
Yeah.
That can just rotate in and out, and they can eat. You have freaking Ndamukong Suh on the inside.
We got a sack and a half. Shaq Barrett got a sack. Shaq Barrett played the Super Bowl before. He knows what he's doing. 2-time Super Bowl champion now. Like, that defense was eating.
Vita Vea was all over the place.
Yeah, again, like, and when you have guys like that, which, hey, Falcons, I hope you were watching, because because you win games at the line of scrimmage. Give my man Grady Jarrett some damn help. But it was so simple on both sides of the ball, and that's what won the game. Is Tampa Bay didn't make mistakes, and they handed the ball off. And so, like, people are saying, Leonard Fournette had a good game. I thought Ronald Jones had a good game.
Yep.
Right? I mean, I thought he honestly looked like the more dangerous back to me. I know Fournette broke that long one, but for the most part, it was Ronald Jones who was getting drugged down by his ankles. But it was simple.
Ronald Jones was getting first downs.
Yeah. It was 8 yards at a time. But Leonard Fournette, the thing that he does is it's just so damn devastating. It's kind of like when Nick Chubb was in college and Leonard Fournette was in colleges. When you see 6-year dudes bounce off somebody and they pick up 9 yards, it's just
demoralizing.
It's like Marshawn says, right? You don't want that in the fourth quarter. It's like, if I keep punching you in the mouth, eventually you're not going to want that. But I just thought PJ just simplicity was what won them the Super Bowl.
Yeah, for sure. And what's great about that is the fact that they use that simplicity, and they also, it was also complex enough. That's the thing. The game plan was so good from Tampa Bay, and they never really had to steer away from it that much. Oh, the great part about what Byron Leftwich did, I think, last night is he used the tools that he didn't use the flashy tools that he had, right?
Mike Evans had a very negligible game.
Exactly.
He had one big catch across the middle, and that was about it.
Right, the one big catch across the middle, the pass interference call, which he didn't even catch. So other than that, Chris Godwin was a fantastic weapon for them all postseason. He wasn't really used that much there last night. It was my offensive line is going to beat yours. And if we do that, then we're going to keep handing off the football and keeping the football and have Tom Brady come off the play action to Rob Gronkowski. I got to say, I'm pretty impressed with what we saw from Gronk last night, too. Not only going out and pass catching and getting out in space, he was blocking like crazy. So he's not this old Gronk in a wheelchair by any means.
Still blows my mind that he is the same age as Travis Kelce. That blows my mind. Sure. But we do have to go to break here. We're going to come back and catch up with Cedric Baker. He's the head women's basketball coach at Savannah State. They're getting ready to kick off their seasons this week. So we'll catch up with him next. PJ, if you want to stick around, obviously we'll talk a little bit more Super Bowl later. But again, Christian Gokel alongside Cody Queen, PJ Zuko. Cam Ershru will be back. He is on his way back from Tampa covering the Super Bowl down there. So he'll be back tomorrow. And then 3 and Out coming up next. Guys, again, just continuing coverage of Tampa Bay's second Super Bowl in franchise history, Tom Brady's 7th Super Bowl. Tom Brady now has more Super Bowls than any franchise in the NFL. So just the resume continues to grow. But we'll come back. Cedric Baker from Savannah State next. All right, I need you guys to be completely honest. Who had Tampa Bay scoring no touchdowns? Or Kansas City scoring no touchdowns, sorry.
Oh, not me. I had Kansas City winning and scoring like I think I said 37-24 or something like that, or 41-24.
I have our props here, and I'm going to wait for Cam to get back so we can go over our props, Cody, and determine a true loser. And we're gonna tally up the 3-and-out ones as well, so we can determine a true loser in the prop bets. But that national anthem, way over.
Yeah,
and we got lucky because we did ours before someone leaked the rehearsal.
Oh,
yeah, somebody leaked the kind of the text and the way that the song was supposed to go with Jasmine Sullivan and Eric Church, and so everybody kind of knew it was going to be way over after that. I kind of knew when it was going to be a duet, and I think 4 or 5 out of the last 7 before this one had gone over, and then you make it a duet, you knew that was going to go over. I lost my first one. Very next thing is I had tails never fails, and it was heads, which is just tough.
Try, baby.
It's just tough, but we'll get into all of those coming up. But again, diving back into the Super Bowl, not only who had KC not scoring a touchdown, who had Rob Gronkowski being the biggest weapon in the Super Bowl. I mean, don't raise your hand. You didn't say that last week.
Really?
Find the audio.
I did not. I will.
You didn't say to me. You didn't say to anyone.
Okay, I said it on air.
I said the biggest weapon.
Yes.
Rob Gronkowski.
I said that Rob Gronkowski was going to be the leading receiver for the Buccaneers. I said that.
All right, well, we'll wait for Cody to find the audio. But
he might have said it on 3-and-out or something.
I might have said
maybe
100 yards also, so I might have been wrong about that. But I said he was going to be the number
because
one
nobody
receiver.
on Tampa had a ton of yards. Right? I think Travis Kelce, in terms of like total yards a game, was the leader. I think he had 133 yards. But Tampa was just kind of like, all right, you can catch it 10 yards at a time, and we'll tackle you, and let's see if you can go 80 yards down.
I think Gronk only had like 67 yards,
but it was just clutch.
Oh,
it was
clutch.
It was again. We'll talk to Ben about this because obviously Ben has more expertise than any of us in this. He played in the league, same position.
Yeah.
But like the only time Cody's played tight end is when we play old guy football, and he's like, man, I really don't feel like splitting out as a wide receiver, so I'm just going to stand right.
And then I'm like the third option for tight end too.
Yeah,
so.
But the first touchdown they schemed up for Gronk, right? It was we were talking about the split zone, and then play action, hit him out. Cody's walking into the end zone, catching that one, right? That second touchdown, that was just peak pinnacle Gronk. It was him getting into the end zone. Okay, you're going to go one-on-one with me with a corner. I'm going to eat him alive, run the back of the end zone. And Tom Brady and I have done this 1,000 times before.
That's what I was going to say. It was great chemistry with Tom Brady as well, knew where he would want him to be and all that good stuff.
Tom Brady, right? There's no look off. It was I'm staring at Gronk. He's one-on-one with a corner. I'm going to wait for this monster to get open in the end zone, and it's going to be the easiest throw of my life.
Yeah, and that's what you saw. No, you're exactly right. And it did a great job of that. Great to see Gronk going out and the game plan as well to be able to do that. And really all the tight ends. I mean, Cameron Brate had a big night as well. Came up clutch for Tom Brady a few times, and that's just old school football, man. Run the ball down the throat and then throw it to the tight ends, and throw it to the wide receivers when we need to. But yeah, just won it like that.
Yeah, and again, really happy, I guess, for guys like Leonard Fournette, because I was talking to Ben and BJ about this in a group text during the game. Leonard Fournette carried the Buccaneers offense to within a play of, or not the Buccaneers, the Jaguars offense.
To
within a play of the Super Bowl. And now you put him in a real offense and just feed him like you're supposed to feed him, where it's 12, 13 touches a game and just run him right between the tackles. And you see what happens. He gets 70 yards, scores a long touchdown. That was the backbreaker, right? That one where he broke it down the right side, very much like he did against Green Bay. It wasn't quite the Green Bay where he hit the spin move and broke like 4 tackles and got in the end zone, but it was still that same kind of feel where it's just like, God, they're hitting Gronk and Mike Evans is eating us up over the middle, and now Leonard Fournette's breaking them. It kind of felt like that broke Casey's back when Leonard Fournette did that, but it felt so good to see Leonard Fournette and guys like that. And Ndamukong Suh finally get a Super Bowl. I don't know how you guys feel about Ndamukong Suh, because he's got some questionable stuff in the past, stepping on quarterbacks, but dude literally plays one of the nastiest positions anywhere in any sport, right? You have to go up against usually over 600 pounds of man meat hitting you in the face repeatedly during a game,
Yep.
you're not going to be a nice person.
Yeah, sometimes it's hard to dial that back for sure. I mean, the fact that Patrick Mahomes stood up after that hit late by 3 different people, I thought he was broken. But no, also want to go back to Fournette. Love the call there by Jim Nantz. Just Fournette.
Yeah.
But it's like he's waiting for him to be tackled, right? No.
In terms of running backs, he's not fast.
Yeah,
He's just amazingly strong.
He's also the only 5-star out of everybody on the whole entire
That was
team.
interesting.
it's crazy.
That was crazy.
No, if we're gonna
Well,
talk,
I don't know
about,
if they did stars when Tom Brady was,
That's,
coming out.
that's true.
who knows? If we're gonna talk about also guys that we're happy about, what about Levante David, who comes out,
Oh God, yeah.
plays incredible, not as good as Devin White. I mean, he was playing out of his mind.
In that
But
game plan, he had the thankless position is
Yeah.
Devin White, we're going to let you read the back in the backfield. Levante David, you have Travis Kelce.
for sure, yeah.
And but I still thought he played great.
Played a great night, and not only that, but just the fact that he's been there for so long in Tampa Bay. And Levante David, so good at Nebraska, one of those just nasty guys coming out of Nebraska at linebacker, and was drafted by Tampa Bay, has stayed down there throughout it all, loyal, and going through the tough years, but being really the shining spot on that defensive side of the ball. And to see him finally break through is really good, just for a guy that not only is playing, I think, very underrated, but still playing at the top of his game, but also the fact that he stayed there through thick and thin with Tampa Bay and is able to hold it. He didn't, I have my opinions for sure. He didn't just jump on the bandwagon for a year to get a Super Bowl. He was there in Tampa Bay through it all and still on the field, doing a great job.
I'd also like to talk about Jason Pierre-Paul after all the stuff that he's been through.
Yeah,
in his career.
he's won a Super Bowl. So,
but still, man,
He's undefeated in the postseason.
Yeah.
dude,
It's insane.
no way, undefeated.
Yeah,
because he's played with the Giants and now he's played with the
dude,
Bucks.
2 appearances.
missing fingers out there. I remember when he was playing with the club. I remember when everybody counted him out. Nobody wanted him anymore. He went to a horrible Tampa Bay team, started doing good, led the league in sacks, 2 years ago, or second in sacks. I know he's in the double digits.
Yeah, Shaq Barrett led the league last year.
Yeah, and dude, amazing that what he's done in his career, winning multiple Super Bowls, coming back from that injury. The whole entire defense has so many great stories about
Don't
it.
you guys love when, and this doesn't have to just be in football, but it's like when you start seeing something, maybe it's like a musical artist, maybe something like that, where you peripherally see them and you're like, I like that. I like what they're doing over there.
Oh, for sure.
And you keep seeing it. You're like, yeah, I like kind of like what they're doing. And then they like have something that hit, and you're like, I knew it. I knew I liked this person.
Yeah.
That was me last night with Antoine Winfield Jr.
Oh,
'Cause
yeah.
I've liked him watching the Bucks play all year. I'm like, that dude will hit you. I was like, because he'll come up and he'll run the alley and he'll pop somebody. He hurt himself against Green Bay.
I was going to say, he doesn't care about his body. Yeah.
Running the gap on one of the Green Bay running backs. I mean, dude was breaking a run and just stopped. Like, that's when you know somebody popped you, is when there's like, you don't fall forward. You just stop, right?
Yeah.
I was like, this guy's good. And then I think he hurt his collarbone on that hit and was out for the rest of the NFC Championship game. Gets to come back, play in the Super Bowl, and he was slapping people in the mouth.
He's a rookie.
I mean, out of Minnesota.
Well, that's what
Yeah.
I was going to say is like you talk about seeing people and respecting their game, no matter who they're playing for, and seeing it kind of out of your peripheral. Well, I saw it, dead on last year when he picked off Clifford, I believe 2 times in that game and had the big upset win there at home. But it's guys like that. It's guys. I'm a Steelers fan like Tom Brady. It's just like, I don't like him, but I respect the heck out of him.
Oh,
And
I like
think,
Antoine Winfield Jr.
I think the same thing with Winfield. It's just like the great job. But I think I know where you're going.
Number one, he was popping people all night. Like, I mean, Clyde Edwards-Helaire was breaking all kinds of tackles. I mean, talk about his career arc, right? I mean, unbelievable job last year. I mean, he became a superstar when LSU beat Alabama in that awesome game between Burrow and Tua. But it was really Edwards-Helaire that was kind of I don't want to say backbone of that offense, but he was what kept it balanced. I think led the SEC in rushing.
I think he's easily the most underrated, underappreciated part of that
but
team.
Was good enough, because think about all the running backs that came out last year, were good enough for KC to make him the first running back off the board in the draft. And he played a great game, super hard to tackle. He got popped by Winfield. But then at the end, when Tampa Bay is having to go for it, it's 4th down, and they throw a long one towards the end zone, Winfield breaks it up, and who is he guarding? Tyreek Hill, who had thrown the peace sign up at him back when they had met earlier in the regular season and done a backflip in his face.
Yeah.
Tyreek Hill broke a long one, hit the peace sign, and did a backflip in Winfield's face, right? So what does Winfield do when he knows he's won the Super Bowl and breaks it up? Crouches down while Tyreek Hill's on the ground, throws him a peace sign and smiles at him. Got a penalty for it, which I thought was garbage, but because Tyreek Hill can do it all the time, it's fine. It's cute. It's what Tyreek Hill does. I think he's had 1 or 2 penalties called, but for the most part, there's not a penalty called. He just gets fined.
Yeah.
Right. I thought the flag was trash, but I fell in love with Antoine Winfield Jr. For the rest of his career, I am a fan of his because that is pro football to me.
Swagger, baby.
You
That's what you gotta do.
literally play the swagger position. You play safety, right? You have to be think about the dudes who have come before you, the Ed Reeds and the Sean Taylors. That's the swag position. Loved him just flexing on Tyreek Hill because it's football.
Yeah.
Right? It's dudes hitting each other in the face for 3 hours for our entertainment. And when I get one up on you, I'm going to flex.
Right.
I've never had a problem with Tyreek Hill throwing at the peace sign. We shouldn't have a problem with Winfield Jr. throwing at the peace sign at him when he gets back at him.
Yeah, exactly. And I will admit for sure. I was sitting in a room with a bunch of people watching the game.
Similar to a room?
Okay, all right. I was sitting in a room. I'm sorry.
I was like, bro.
No,
Did that room have a roof on it?
Yes, it very much did. And anyway, I'm going to get away.
Anyways.
There's a lot of words we can get to where I do something like that, but I will admit, no doubt about it. I will admit that I was one of the ones for sure being like, all right, come on, man. Do you have to do you just won the Super Bowl? Not only that, he's crouched down. You get right up in his face with it. I
wish you would have touched him.
I was like, man, that would have been crazy. I was like, man, I don't know about that. But I was like, nah, maybe not. Okay, you got the flag. All right. But I think the ref was kind of in the same position that I was. You just automatically see it and you don't think. I didn't know about the whole I knew Tyreek Hill threw the back up through the backflip in the end zone and throws up the peace side. So I didn't know that was him.
But there's nothing to me. There's nothing wrong with that. If I'm Tyreek Hill and I think Coffee County, right? If I'm from Coffee County, Georgia, and I went out to Oklahoma State and I'm literally the fastest man in the NFL and I'm breaking away and I'm throwing up peace signs, I think that's great for the game.
Oh, believe me, my favorite play, one of the coolest things I've ever done. I know you can call me a homer if you want, but I think last year Saquon Barkley was at the 50. He had 2 guys running with him. He was playing the Eagles, had 2 guys running with him, and threw up the peace sign then because he knew he was about to pull away. I was like, man, that is cold-hearted, and I love it. There is a certain point of I don't know. You can ask my brothers about this. Getting in people's face that I'm not really about. It just makes me. I don't like it.
Talk to him the whole game.
But the fact again, the bookend of it all, the fact that he was covering Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill did that earlier in the year, and now you bookend it like this and take your opportunity. Now I didn't know that at the time, but now that I know that, I'm like, all right, that's fine.
And also,
take back the flag.
We got to go to break, but Kansas City fans, if you're complaining today, you can go to hell because literally in the last 2 years, so not even last 2 years, let's just do it in days. In the last year and a day, you have been to as many Super Bowls as my team has been to in the history of their damn franchise, and you have won infinitely more. So get the hell out of here. You had one bad game. I don't want to hear about it. You've been to the 2 Super Bowls. You have the best quarterback in the NFL for the next decade. I don't want to hear any complaining from any Kansas City fans.
Who still only lost 10 games in the NFL.
Nuts.
I mean,
this is the first time he hasn't scored a touchdown since
I think it was 16 against Iowa State.
Yeah, since it was in college against Iowa State. That mean Cyclone defense. So just Kansas City fans, get the hell out of here. You're fine. You'll be back probably next year. We'll be watching Patrick Mahomes again, maybe against Aaron Rodgers, hopefully against Matt Ryan. Who knows? Maybe against Justin Fields in a Falcons uniform. A boy can dream. We got more to come. We'll be right back on Second Down. Welcome back into Second Down right here on ESPN Radio. Christian Gokel, glad to have you alongside on this Monday as we recap Super Bowl 55. But right around the corner, we have some Savannah State basketball coming up this week. It's been a long wait. Remember, we were actually at Savannah State when everything got shut down, interviewing their AD, their Opio, when back in 2020 at the beginning, everything got shut down. So really excited to have Savannah State basketball back. And joining us now, the head coach of the women's basketball team, Cedric Baker on. Coach, it's good to have you back on with us, man.
Oh, glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. And it's been a long, hard road to get back to where you guys are at. Just take us through, man. What has this last year been like for you?
It's been well, for one, I could definitely say it's definitely been uncharted waters for me, being in the business for, over 25 years and just not playing, basketball during your holiday breaks, Thanksgiving, Christmas. It was definitely a difference in what we do day to day, from an operational standpoint and competing. But overall, we've just tried to make, the best out of this situation. And, of course, keeping the students, health at the top of our priority list. But and also, giving time to, study the game more. We relied heavily on video equipment and technology. So just making use of, that technology that's at our fingertips and just trying to, be resourceful and still do research on our kids and their overall development. But of course, at some point the rubber meets the road and you want to have that, face-to-face personal relationship. So we're happy to be back in the gym and continue to be able to move forward.
And I know a lot of the focus, especially down here, has been on football. But, I mean, basketball and all the other spring sports are really the first ones impacted by this canceling during the middle of the season. What kind of job do you feel like your student athletes have done, especially on your team, just keeping their heads in the right spot and getting ready for an unknown start date?
Yes, it's been a challenge in terms of mental toughness, just keeping them emotionally regulated and having disappointment, having to postpone early in the year. So they've been even keel, of course. Being compliant and staying positive. And the day has come now that it's always tell them it's best to stay ready than try to get ready.
For sure.
So, and it helps that I had, some veteran players who have been in the program 2 years coming back. So they understand how things go and that they remain positive. They were compliant, stayed safe and kept themselves ready, for what we're anticipating on tomorrow. And that's a tip off with Allen University.
I was going to say, y'all tipping off coming up tomorrow night in Tiger Arena against Allen University. What does this 2021 version of the Savannah State basketball team look like? I know a historically great program. What should fans expect?
Well, we're definitely expecting to play defense at a high level. That's a stickler for me, of course, and it's been a great strength of our program over the years. However, last year we had, terrific guard play. We have all three guards that led us in scoring coming back. Leandria Gillis, who averaged 18 a game, and Ajana Maxwell averaged 14 for us, and Tekyla Austin averaged 12. So we have three double-figure scoring kids coming back. However, I'm really comfortable with our post play. We've definitely upgraded in that area. We have two kids, Bria Gibbs out of Greensboro, North Carolina, and Autumn Westmoreland out of Las Vegas, who can definitely, catch it in the post, pivot, and it gives the coaching staff a calmness, when they catch the ball. So we got balanced scoring this year, and that along with if we can continue to match the intensity on the defensive end, I'm expecting some high-scoring games and some exciting basketball for Savannah State women's basketball.
And again, we're catching up with Cedric Baker. He is the head basketball coach of Savannah State's women's team there, and they're tipping off their season tomorrow night at Tiger Arena. Coach, what is the capacity? How are tickets working for fans who do want to come out and see some of the games this season?
Due to COVID restrictions, there will be no fans, unfortunately, this year. However, all of our fans, they can log into our games. If they can log into SSU Athletics on our webpage, they can view the game via live stream. So, unfortunately, right now, no fans are allowed, just game operation personnel and, of course, the visiting team and home team. But our games will be live streamed for all our fans and parents to see us in action on tomorrow.
And again, a way for you to show your support to Savannah State. Just go online to their SSUathletics.com and show your support for both basketball teams. Really entertaining brands on both sides. Again, Coach Baker said it right there. They're going to play really hard-nosed defense with the women's team, and then the men's team hoisting up about 83s a game. So it's going to be a lot of fun basketball to watch on both sides of it. Coach, before we let you get out of here, man, just what is this season going to look like? How many games do y'all plan to play in this spring season?
We put together a non-conference schedule, but it's comprised of conference schools. Our goal was to, of course, get to the minimum of 11, so that we, can have an opportunity, possibly to play in the NCAA tournament. But right now, we only have eight games scheduled for the season, opening up with Allen and Benedict College this week, and then we will also play host to Fort Valley and Albany State. But we did receive information today that the NCAA has provided a waiver that we can apply for if we did not reach the minimum due to COVID-19. So our plans is to submit our waiver with the 8 games, and if we have a really good season and we can finish in the top 3, we may get an opportunity to get an at-large bid to the Division II NCAA tournament. And that's my prayer. That's my hope for us.
And Coach, quickly here, just about 20 seconds. How excited are you to actually be back coaching a game tonight, or tomorrow night? Sorry.
I'm excited. I'm excited for the program. Excited for the young ladies, and I'm just waiting with great anticipation on seeing what they can do, offensively and defensively.
It's going to be good to yell at a ref again, right? Come on.
You say what now?
It's going to be good to yell at a ref again.
You say what now? You say ref?
Yeah, it's going to be good to yell at one of them again, right?
Oh, yeah, and this year they can definitely hear what I say.
Yes, there we go. Cedric Baker, he is the women's basketball coach at Savannah State. Coach Baker, always appreciate it, man. Look forward to talking to you as you guys go through this season.
Hey, thanks for having me, Christian.
Again, Savannah State there, the men's team tipping off this evening at Tiger Arena, women's team tipping off tomorrow night there at Savannah State as well. We got more to come. Final segment of Second Down next. Welcome back into Second Down right here on ESPN Radio. Christian Gokel, glad to have you alongside. 3 and Out coming up next. Guys going to catch up and break down all of the action from the Super Bowl. I'm sure they will have more of the streaking breakdown. We'll have audio from Kevin Harlan's call from the streaker. But again, Ben's expertise, man. I mean, who else better to go to about 2 great performances from 2 great tight ends than a former great tight end and one Ben Troop. So all of that coming up next on 3 and Out. But Cody, I wanted to get to your grade on the Super Bowl halftime show, because I thought the beginning of the Super Bowl, like all of the intro, the pomp and circumstances, the different stuff the NFL put out there, like the deep fake Vince Lombardi, right, into the national anthem, all of it I thought was unbelievable. And then the first half was great. And then to me, it just kind of a very meh halftime show.
Yeah, if you're going out of like 1 out of 10, I'm going 5.
5. That's
in the
pretty
middle.
good.
It's in the middle. It's not the best, not the worst, but I didn't really care for it. I kind of like halfway through of his performance, I just like walked away.
The Weeknd has bangers. I'll say that. The Weeknd has bangers. I mean, obviously by the fact that he has 2 songs on Spotify that I think have over 1 billion streams, right? I think one that's almost at 2 billion. He has bangers. I just didn't think he fit with the Super Bowl halftime show. I think
No.
I think, and I listen, I'm the biggest Chris Stapleton fan you'll find. I don't know that a Chris Stapleton halftime show would be great, just because it's not what you expect out of a fast-paced halftime show where you're 30 seconds in a song and then you switch to the next one. So that's where I'm at with that one. But again, 3 and Out coming up next. Guys, recap the Super Bowl and a whole lot more. We'll talk to y'all tomorrow.